What's going on, guys? Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today the Boston Celtics beat the Miami Heat in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals and are only down 3-2 after being down 3-0, and they are 2 wins away from the first NBA team to ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. Before I get into this game and talk about, the rest of this series, I'm going to go in a little bit of an outlook of the rest of this series and to also talk about tonight's game. I want y'all to let me know who wins Game 6, Miami or Boston. But getting into this game, and I'm going to, talk about a little bit about the game, but I'm also going to, look at the outlook and give my predictions on the rest of the series. Boston wins 110-97. Very similar score to the last game. I believe the last was 114-97. So, kind of Miami scores the same amount of points, but Boston scores 4 less. So, I gotta admit, I didn't see a way Boston would lose this game. I really didn't. They had the momentum after winning their first game of the series, and at home, that Game 4 win's going to push that amazing Boston crowd even further. It's a great crowd in Boston cheering on their team. I think the crowd had a big part of this game too. Obviously, Boston played really well, but that place is loud, and that's why I'm personally saying this next game for Miami is a Game 7. It is their Game 7 of this series because I do not see a world where Miami beats Boston in Game 7. I do not. So I think it is winnable. I think Game 7 in Boston is winnable. I think it is possible. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed Game 7 win for Boston if Boston wins Game 6 in Miami on Saturday night. But what I am saying is that if Miami loses Game 6 on Saturday night, I don't know. I don't see how Boston loses Game 7. I don't. The Heat, I think, in my opinion, have to finish this series off Saturday night because I don't. Yes, if Jimmy plays well, Game 7, if in a potential Game 7, they have a chance, but they have kind of disappeared in the last 2 games, and I honestly, Heat fans should probably be worrying because it feels like the Celtics have awakened and the Miami Heat have fallen asleep, and I don't know, but I think I have to go with Game 6 to Miami. Miami's been amazing in the playoffs at home. Boston's Game 4 win in the Eastern Conference Finals, what was that, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday night. That was the first game Miami has lost at home in the playoffs. Beat Milwaukee both times at home in the playoffs. Beat them twice at home. Beat New York all 3 times at home. So it's 5-0, and then they won the first game against Boston at home. So they were 6-0 at home in the playoffs up until that Game 4. So they're 6-1 at home in the playoffs. They've been playing some good basketball at home in the playoffs. The only bad game they've really only played was the only really bad game they've played at home in the playoffs is yesterday's game. But not yesterday's game. Sorry, I meant Tuesday's game. But to be fair, no one's gonna. I honestly think I know a lot of people thought Miami would be able to pull off the sweep on Tuesday night, but it's hard as hell to beat the Boston Celtics 4 times in a row, and especially the way Boston shut down in Game 3. You had to expect they were going to bounce back, so they bounced back from that Game 3 collapse. And it gave them momentum to win a Game 5 at home where their crowd was going crazy. Boston shot amazing from 3, played great team basketball, had 4 scores with over 20 points, 21 points or higher. So in that case, I think Boston could make it an entertaining game in Game 6, but I think Jimmy is going to play hard in Game 6. Jimmy did not do that well tonight. Not at all. 14 points in 34 minutes. I think Jimmy's going to come back and just see the playoff Jimmy we kind of saw in the Milwaukee series and kind of the Jimmy we saw earlier in this series, and we saw him for a little bit of the New York series. I think Jimmy is going to be a monster in Game 6, and I think Miami's going to win Game 6. But you guys let me know who you think is going to win Game 6. But let's get into the stats of this game. So like I said, 4 scores with over 21 or more points for the Boston Celtics tonight. Leading scorer, Derrick White. He shot amazing from 3 for them tonight. 6 for 8 from 3, 24 points, 3 rebounds, shot 8 for 11. 21 points for Jason Tatum. He had 11 assists and 8 rebounds, 2 rebounds away from a triple-double. He struggled from 3, but did okay. Besides his, 3-point shooting was 1 for 6 from 3, but it's all right. He did hit a clutch 3 for them. His 1-3 was a really big 3. I can't remember. It extended their lead. I can't remember when it was, but I did see that it was a huge 3. And then 23 for Marcus Smart. Five steals for Marcus Smart. Man, he was locking them up tonight. 5 for 6 at the free throw line, 4 for 6 from 3, and 7 for 12 at the 7 for 12 on the court. And then 21 for Jaylen Brown, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 for 5 from 3, 9 for 18. I'm gonna go over the other scores real quick. 6 for Al Horford. He had 11 rebounds and 5 assists in 29 minutes. 6 points for Robert Williams III. 6 for Grant Williams. 3 for Sam Hauser. And the 6th man of the year, Malcolm Brogdon, gets hurt. And we also learned sometime today that he's been dealing with an injury for a while. Hopefully he's okay. Go over the Heat scoring real quick. Most of their scoring came off the bench. They had 3 scorers with over 14 points off the bench. They did have 2 scorers with double figures over the bench, where, of course, Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler. Butler had 14. Lowry jumped in the starting lineup with 5 points in this game. But Bam had 16 in this one with 8 rebounds and 14 for Jimmy Butler, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. So those were the only 2 scorers in the starting lineup with double figures. But I will say that Max Strus only played 24 minutes in this game. Kevin Love only played 14 minutes in this game. Strus scored 3, Love scored 6. Now, I think a lot of people are, what I've seen is Miami was out without Gabe Vincent in this game. Gabe Vincent has been a huge impact for Miami in this series. He had that huge Game 3. Scored 28 points in Game 3. They missed him tonight. They missed his absence tonight in this game. If they can get him back Game 6 on Saturday, that's going to be a difference. If he shoots well, he plays well like he usually does, that's going to be a difference for Miami. They missed him in the lineup tonight, and you could kind of tell. The shooting, they only made 9 3-pointers in this game. I think they missed his shooting a lot in this one. Duncan Robinson had a really solid game. He was their leading scorer with 18 points and 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 7 for 10, 2 for 3 from 3, and he only played 28 minutes. Haywood Highsmith also had a really solid game, played 36 minutes in this game, 15 points, 6 for 9, 3 for 4 from 3. I didn't know he could shoot like that. And then 14 for Caleb Martin, 14 points, 5 rebounds, and I thought he had some assists, but no. 5 for 12, 2 for 5 from 3. And then Cody Zeller had 4 and 0 for Nikola Jovic. And then that was it for the scoring in this game. So you guys have your thoughts on the game from tonight, players' performances, and then you guys also let me know who you think wins Game 6 or who you think wins the series. I got to go with Miami winning Game 6. I personally think if Miami can get Gabe Vincent back in the lineup on Saturday for Game 6 and Jimmy Butler is playing his best basketball, Miami will win. But you guys have your thoughts. That's your video. If you guys enjoy them, your thoughts, and peace out.